So Tycoon just added in a brand new vehicle, which is going to be the BMD-4M, and the big question that people are actually asking, is it worth the investment of 1,200 Robux? Its speed is going to be 71, and it's going to be having 2,000 health once you fully max it out, which is actually very important because this vehicle does have much better firepower than something like the BMPT Terminator. However, it does have more health, it does also have much higher versatility of being able to go in the water. Well, this will actually be very important later on. Anyway, let's move into a damage test. So firstly, moving into this vehicle's anti-air capabilities in terms of its cannon, it is probably going to be one of the first 3 tanks which will actually be able to one-tap an F-35, which is also pretty nice. In terms of the Super Hind, which is also another helicopter which is pretty much meta, it will be able to one-tap it as well with its cannon, which is actually pretty insane considering this is only 100 millimeters. Now moving into the guided missile of this vehicle, it will be able to do exactly the same thing against the F-35 of one-shotting it, and same with the Super Hind, so you guys pretty much also have a second chance if you do miss your tank cannons. I think this is pretty good considering it's pretty much just a similar vehicle to the Moderna, but once again it seems to be much more versatile because of other stats I'll be covering later. Anyway, this vehicle is also amazing in terms of being able to take down air vehicles with its explosive machine gun. This thing has some amazing DPS against air vehicles, and if you guys do actually manage to play it smart with this vehicle, well, obviously camping, using your camo to your advantage, using your speed, using your smoke, which by the way is very important, I think this vehicle will be great in terms of air combat. Now moving on to the anti-tank capabilities, this vehicle will be able to do exactly 23% to the Abrams X with its main cannon. However, in terms of its main firepower, which is going to be the guided missile, it will be able to do exactly 50%, which is actually pretty huge. I think this vehicle is going to be amazing against tanks. Now moving on to its explosive machine gun, which is actually pretty OP. It pretty much is going to be the best one in the game because as you guys can see, it does have some amazing DPS and it's going to be able to shoot for at least 15 seconds straight, being able to deal this damage. I think this vehicle might be one of the best in terms of overall tank combat. Even though the health is pretty low, I think the speed is really going to be making it much better. And now, by the way, if you guys were ever wondering if this vehicle is going to be any good against ground vehicles, let's just say its anti-tank guided missile will be able to almost one-tap a freaking Lavad, which is maxed out. So you guys will never be having any types of problems with ground vehicles. Anyway, now moving into some of the unique sides of this vehicle, and that's going to be the smoke. It actually does have a faster reload than all the other tanks in the game. Like for example, I'm testing it against the Leopard right here in this clip, and as you guys can see, we do actually run out of smoke at the same time, or I guess the smoke kind of disappears. However, I'm the one that's able to deploy it way before, and my friend has to wait quite a long time until he's able to deploy his. Now the big question of today's video, is this vehicle actually worth the hefty price of 1,200 Robux? It really does actually depend on your budget. What this vehicle does provide you is being the fastest tank in the game, meanwhile having the firepower of the Moderna and also being able to go on water. But are all these features actually worth 1,200 Robux? Probably not. This vehicle is still going to be very powerful, probably an S tier vehicle. It's definitely OP, however it's more like a pay to play vehicle rather than a pay to win. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and thanks so much to my channel members.